الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم. We know that we are in the middle of the month of Sha'ban, the 15th, and we see the evidence of that by the full moon that we see in the sky the last few days, including tonight as well. We know that the moon is one of the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in nature, and its beauty should help remind us about the amazing qualities of Allah as a creator and what He has created in the universe for us to see and to remember Him. In the Quran, it's described astronomically before it was known at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, that the sun is a siraj, it's a source of light, and it lights so many things with the energy and the power that Allah has put in the sun. But that the moon, even though we see it on a dark night as we see it tonight, is not a source of light, it is a reflection of the light of the sun, subhanAllah. And so it itself does not have a source of light. It's from, again, the power of the sun that Allah has created that allows us to see the moon on a dark night. And this is one of the miracles that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again has described for us in the Quran. A hadith about the moon from the Prophet ﷺ, narrated Jarir, we were sitting with the Prophet ﷺ and he looked at the moon on the night of the full moon and said, "You people will see your Lord as you see this full moon, and you will have no trouble in seeing Him." So we know as we look up in the sky, you see the moon very easily. It looks beautiful. It's as it comes down to the horizon, it's quite large. So the Prophet ﷺ is telling us we will see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if He gives us this blessing on a dark night as we see the full moon. So if you can avoid missing the prayer before sunrise, the Fajr prayer, and the prayer before sunset, Asr, you must do so. So here he is again linking actions that will help us to be able to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on a dark night as we see the full moon, by encouraging us and reminding us to always perform our Fajr prayers on time and our Asr prayer on time, and not leave them and neglect them or leave them to the last minute. Another hadith with a reference to the moon, narrated Sahel bin Sa'd, the Prophet ﷺ said, 70,000 or 700,000 of my followers will enter paradise. The sub-narrator is not sure as to which of the two numbers is correct. They will be holding on to each other. The first will not enter until the last one does. Their faces like the moon on a full moon night. So here the Prophet ﷺ is describing the believers and the mu'mineen as they enter Jannah, and how their faces will be like the nur, like the light of the moon, subhanallah. And we know there are many descriptions of the believers that light will be coming from their body. Your face will be light, it will not be dark. May Allah make us of those with the light. And there will be parts of our body that are emitting light as we enter Jannah, and as evidence of our actions and our deeds that we did here on the earth, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will allow us to enter Jannah. Another hadith, when the son of the Prophet ﷺ passed away, Ibrahim, we know that an eclipse happened, and the Sahaba saw an eclipse. I tried to locate the hadith. I believe it was an eclipse of the moon or the sun, I'm not sure, but I believe it was the moon. And the Sahaba said that here Allah is causing an eclipse because of the death of Ibrahim, the son of the Prophet ﷺ. And the Prophet ﷺ immediately said that the eclipses and the planets do not move or change because of people. It's only because of the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so the Prophet ﷺ immediately negated this concept that the eclipse was happening because of his son. Again, evidence of the Prophet's truthfulness and his connection to Allah. He could have said, yes, Allah did this for me because of my son, but it was not the case. And he reminded the Sahaba that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the power to do these astronomical miracles. And he told the people to pray during the time of the eclipse until the eclipse is over. And we know that this is a sunnah for both solar and lunar eclipses. So may Allah help us to be of those with the faces like the full moon and enter Jannah, inshallah, and also to be able to recognize the signs of Allah and to recognize what He has given us in nature to remember Him. May Allah also help all the Muslims in the world who are in need and suffering, those who are sick, those who have passed away, and those with mental illness who are in the dark and need to come into the light with the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jazakumullah khair.